Okay, today we're going to take a little field trip to Ellis Island. That's a little island outside of New York where so many immigrants came through Ellis Island to become American citizens. And so there's two little parts to this assignment you're going to have to do. First of all, I want you to click in your social studies class the Ellis Island virtual tour. So this is going to take us, let's see, this is going to be the website we're going to use to take us to do this assignment. So let's just look at this really quick. This is an interactive tour. So Ellis Island, it says here that more than 12 million immigrants made their first stop in America at the Ellis Island Immigration Station between 1892 and 1954. In fact, more than 40% of Americans can trace their family history back to Ellis Island. That's amazing. That means 40 out of every 100 American citizens right now, somewhere in their lineage, like my great grandparents came across from Europe into Ellis Island to become citizens here in America. So about 40% of us have that in our family history. So in this tour, we're going to follow the immigrants' footsteps, and you'll hear firsthand stories. You're going to see pictures and films. You're going to read lots of facts and discover the central role that this Ellis Island played in the story of American immigration. Okay, so we're going to go through this, but I also want you to go back into CTLS, and I want you to click on this Class Kick portion of this tour. So we're going to click there. Okay, this one doesn't like me. And you're going to type your name in here. Okay, so here we have questions that go along with the tour. So I'm going to show you how to put both of these sites that are up in your tabs here side by side so you can work on them together. Some of you may know how to do this already, but let me show you how, and this is a very helpful tip for lots of different things that you can use in the future. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your cursor up here in the tab that says Class Kick. And I want you to left click on it while your cursor's here and hold the left click down and pull it down till it makes its own window. Okay, and it's going to pop up to make a big one. You'll notice that the other two tabs that I had open are no longer open now. You can't see those. So you're going to come over here and you are going to reduce the size of this. So here I am with my little window again, or, All right, then you're going to come to this one. Now you see CTLS and the Ellis Island Interactive Tour again, and you're going to come along on this gray and you're going to reduce the size of that one. So now I have it in two places. So now you just kind of want to manipulate it. Manipulate it here and here so that you can, I want it on this one, this one. Okay, and if one of them is too big, this one looks good, but if it's too small for you, you can come up here in the settings and adjust the size so you can see everything. This one's a little big now, so I'm going to bring that down and I'll be able to see that. So now I can work back and forth from both sections. And so on the directions here, it does say that you need to explore this website, explore the website provided, and for each section, find answers to the questions listed below. You must be a good detective and look at the photographs and click on the different links and draw your own conclusions to answer the questions correctly. I promise you all of these answers are on this website. So some of them you just have to look a little farther for. All right, so the introduction questions are going to be answered on this page. And this is like a diagram of the building on Ellis Island. And when immigrants were coming over They would stop here at what's called the Passage, and the long, difficult journey to America begins. And then they arrive here, and it talks about the Statue of Liberty greets tired travelers. Then you're going to go to the third stop, the baggage room, and the fourth stop, the stairs, and the fifth stop, the registry room, all through all 10 of these. It's really quite interesting, and I love studying the journeys that people took to get here to America and all the things that we're going to study in social studies. It's also interesting to know how we got to the point where we are today in our world. And one day, people are going to be studying about us and going through this COVID-19 situation we're in. So think about that. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to look over here, and I'm going to see that it says in the introduction, over blank million immigrants passed through the doors of Ellis Island. Well, I remember reading that over here. It said more than 12 million immigrants came through. So I'm going to come over here on Class Kick, and I'm going to press the text box, and I'm going to make a little text box, and I'm going to type 12 in it. Oops. And then I click outside of this box, and I can move it so that the 12 sits pretty on the line. Okay, and then it says Ellis Island was open between the years blank and blank. So I come back into my story in my information here, and I see that it was open between 1892 and 1954. So I come back over here. I need a text box. I'm going to put 1892, click outside of it, and then get it pretty on the line. And then I'm going to get another text box right here. And it said 1954. So I'll do 1954. Click outside of it and then move it to the spot I want it to. There we go. All right, so now we're going to start our tour. You can either go here or you can just click on number 1 and it'll take it there. But the next one, when you go to the next stop, you're going to go next. If you want to go back, you go to previous. Okay, so now you're going to read this information. You're going to look at the photos and make sure you click on each of these photos and read the captions to see. Look at all the people on that ship. Okay, these are all the children waving their flags of the new country, United States flags. And here's a picture of them dancing on the ship and making the best of an uncomfortable situation. Okay, then back to the story. You need to click on here, the difference between immigrant spelled with an E and immigrant spelled with an I. And you can click on learn more and it tells you all this. Okay, so then you're going to read this and answer the questions over here. Let me show you another little trick. It says that where were most immigrants from? It's always a good idea to read the questions so you kind of know what you're looking for over here. So where were most immigrants from? So here I'm going to start reading. Most of the immigrants who came to America through Ellis Island were from Eastern and Southern Europe. Well, there's my answer right there, Eastern and Southern Europe. So let me show you a little trick. You can highlight this answer, Eastern and Southern Europe. You can press Control-C or right-click and press copy. And then you need to come over here. You still need to do a text box and click on the text box right here. And then you can do Control-V and there's your answer. So you don't even have to type it out. But I want you to make it nice and pretty for me. So come over to this little green dot right here and spread it out so that you can then, manipulate it to be right on the line, Eastern and Southern Europe. All right, how long did the voyage take? So here we're back here. So most of them came through Eastern and Southern Europe. In many cases, they came to escape the poverty and religious intolerance that existed in small towns in countries such as Italy, Poland, and Russia. So they came because they were very poor, or whatever religion they they believed in was not tolerated there. They did not have the freedom of religion that we have in the United States. So, all right, they began their journey to America on foot. What does that mean, on foot? That means they were walking. And I think up here in this picture, it showed them, here they were walking, not to America, but they were walking. So they started it on foot or horseback on train. And many of them trekked hundreds of miles across Europe to get to a seaport. And when they arrived at the coast, when they got to the water, there they were able to board a steamship to come across to America. They did not walk to America. Okay, the trip across the Atlantic Ocean lasted 1 to 2 weeks. That's a long time to be there. And the question was, how long did the voyage take? So it took 1 to 2 weeks. So come over here, highlight 1 to 2 weeks, copy, make a text box, put it on that answer, and Control V to put it in there. This one fits nicely, and just move it so it looks so pretty for us. Makes it easier for us to grade. What is steerage is the next question. All right. The ship divided passengers by wealth and class. So wealth means money. So if you had a lot of money, you were in one section of the ship. And if you didn't have a lot of money, you were in the other section. And class, like first and second class passengers. Have you ever been on an airplane? And when you get on the airplane, the first few rows of seats are much bigger and more comfortable. And the flight attendants wait on you and bring you food and drink. And that's called the first class section. And those people had to pay more money to sit there. So typically they have more money to be able to sit there. So first and second class passengers stayed in staterooms and cabins. So they got nicer rooms. But most people were in third class. So first class is the best. Third class is the lowest. And that was called steerage. Ooh, that's what they wanted to know. What is steerage? Okay. Steerage was a large open space at the bottom of the ship. Okay, so while the people with more money, they got to stay in nice cabins and these staterooms, the steerage was just this big open space. So steerage was a large open space at the bottom of the ship. All right, so I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to get a text box, and I'm going to open it here, and I'm going to Control V, and I'm going to play with this a little bit with this little green dot, and I'm going to stretch it out some, so that I can then put that there. All right. So you're going to continue on learning about everything they had to go through to be able to get into America. So they're going to come to Ellis Island. They're going to go through all the stations here. And then they're going to get on a ferry and go into the New York Harbor. That's when they get to then enter the United States to stay. So some of them had quite the time getting through here. Make sure you listen to, if you go into this next one, it says as many as 3,000 people crowded the ship. They often came from different countries. They spoke different languages and belonged to different religions. So just like we have right now in America, we have people from all different countries that live here. They speak different languages and have different religions. So that's how we became this melting pot, because people came from everywhere. Then to go to the second stop, you're going to click next up here. And I just want to make sure that you read everything. You click on this information, read that, look at the photos, and listen to the audio. This is so good. These are real people telling their story of coming over here. And then you can watch video. This is footage of in 1903, immigrants arrive in New York Harbor and step onto American soil for the first time. So after they've been through Ellis Island. So make sure you go through all of this and answer all these questions. And you have to click up here because there's a second page of these questions. Okay? Good luck.